Sorry for the delay tonight, everybody. Gremlins and bad weather, I think, are affecting the internet and certain websites. Welcome to episode 20 of Meet the Judge. And I'm delighted tonight to have Gerard Jipping from Holland. Gerard is a sighthound specialist. All breeds, I think, at this stage? Yes?
I am not an all breed judge.
Okay. Stand corrected.
Not even close.
But certainly very popular around the world. Very welcome in Ireland at any time. His prefix is El Hakarat, well-known Afghan breeds prefix. And I'm delighted he's joining us tonight. How are you, Gerard?
Very fine. Thank you very much. Even in this bad time, it is going excellent here, in any way at home.
And how are things COVID-wise in Holland? We hear, in Ireland, we hear that Belgium is in a very bad state, which is your neighbour, and France, obviously, and Germany. But how are things in Holland right now?
We are neighbors, so we are in the same situation. We have also a lot of problems, and the discussion is now going around from full lockdown or half lockdown, what we have now, because now all the restaurants and cafes and everything is closed. After 8 o'clock, you is not allowed anymore to buy or sell alcohol and these kind of things. It is forbidden to go outside and have parties somewhere, even in the homes. I have a family with one brother, one sister, of course, with the husbands and the wife, and my mother is still alive. I cannot formally. I'm not allowed to have all three families at home here. It's only allowed that we have 3 people at home, visit people, and not more. So this is also one of the things what is going on, and probably we will hear Tuesday what is going further, because still the positive results from the people are not going down. We have still around 10,000 daily who get the positive results.
Wow.
With a daily result, and that is not the nicest message what you see every day coming from the county government.
And have you had, or are you planning dog shows in Holland at all?
I didn't understand the question correctly.
Do you have you had recently dog shows in Holland, or have they all stopped?
There are some shows, not shows actually. There was one show in Maastricht. That was the only show who had this year. After the show what I organized, we organizing in March. That was the last show what was organized in the Netherlands. And now in September, there was a show in Maastricht. And I was there. I was a substitute judge because a lot of judges didn't want and didn't go there, especially, of course, from abroad. And I must say it was excellent organized. It was perfect organizer, no problems at all. And the most time I was waiting 2 weeks after, because, if there's going something wrong, you will hear it for sure, and will see it for sure in Facebook. But there was nothing coming on Facebook, so it was a stage show, and with a compliment to the organizers, because they did an excellent work. Okay. What now sometimes is, I will go tomorrow, as example, to a Bouvier club, the Flemish dog, and they need qualification for breeding.
Of course.
So they did organizing tomorrow. There will come 15 dogs. Okay, 1 dog for 1 dog. Never and organize it on time, and so that's the people can breed. And I think this is the organizing. I think this is good that you do it, because there are also some clubs who give dispensations, and this is for some breeds. It is not a problem, but for some breeds to give dispensation for breeding, this is for me, I think, always a little bit risk.
Yes. Okay, that's fair enough. Can I apologize, by the way, in advance, because it's Halloween and it's like a war zone outside. There are fireworks going off everywhere. So if the dogs are barking, I do apologize. It is what it is. So,
No problem. You will hear not the dog here because Halloween. I don't like Halloween exactly,
no.
but it is also not really going on here. We have not really Halloween in the Netherlands.
Well, we do here, I'm afraid. So starting off, Gerard, did you have dogs growing up? Were your parents involved in dogs, or how did you get involved?
My parents was a little bit. They say always I was crazy because I did love dogs, and my parents like dogs, but not to have. But the son wants to have a dog, so in all my life I had a dog.
Okay.
But my parents didn't care about which kind of dog.
Okay.
And I, in the time that I was a young boy, I also didn't care about the dog. I want to have a dog. And I lived on the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I hear a lot of people saying this, but my first dog was a German Shepherd. A little bit different German Shepherd as that we have now today's.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a German Shepherd, Astna. And it was a very nice dog. And what I can remember, because I was in that time maybe 5, 6 years old. And but he was very nice. He brings me to the school. And he was waiting on the school till I go, not waiting on the school yard, but I go back home. And if I had free, he came pick me up. My mother sent him and picked Gerard up.
Wow.
So this was my first dog. I could even sit on him on a certain moment. So strong he was.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to.
I had more dogs. My parents had more dogs. I had a fox terrier. I had a dachshund standard long coated. I had I had also a poodle even.
Really?
But it was not the best choice. It was not the best choice. It was for me not the best dog to have at home. So family take it over. And I was anecdote is my parents was not the lover habits. They didn't love the dog that way as that I do. And then they decided from Gerard, if you get birds instead of a dog, are you satisfied with this? And I think, oh, birds is also nice. And I got birds. And after a time, after I had the birds, I want to back have the dog. I want to have the dog back. And my parents said, now it is done. Actually, on the moment that I go out of home, my parents did keep always one dog.
Okay.
So they did it for me in the time that I was at home. But afterwards, they keep the dog the lifelong.
And so Afghans are obviously your true love in dogs. So what made you choose Afghans as your breed?
This is a strange story because some friends from me want to have a dog, and we go to a breeder. In that time, I was a breeder to look for the dog, and then I was looking in the field by the breeder. Because we lived on the countryside, what I said. And in the field, I saw something lying down in a hole, and I couldn't see what it is, but I saw a lot of coat. And I was thinking first, is this a sheep? And then I asked the guy, I said, what is this? This is an Afghan coat. An Afghan, I never heard about it. I had never heard about it. I did hear, and there's not a joke, about the Irish setter, because the colonel had an Irish setter, and I liked to go with him in the fields because I had this hair, it was beautiful. And then I said, but what is wrong with this Afghan? Oh, no, he came back. So I take it over as a rescue dog. And he had not the best life before I was found out because he damaged everything in my new house. Everything what he damaged. And at one moment I think because I couldn't get him anymore. It costed so much money, and I think this is not going good. It is not only the money, but everything is damaged. And then you will not believe it. I put him about 10 minutes, 15 minutes alone in the garage. and he was sitting there in the grass and not moving at all.
Okay.
And after this 15 minutes, I take the Afghan out at home, and he did never again damaged something. Never.
Really?
And then, you know, with a lot of breeds of so, then you get 1, you get 2, you get 3. Oh, this is also nice. But what I like at the Afghan hounds is his attitude, his character. I never was looking like an Afghan hound, because they say a lot of times from the dogs looks like the owner. This nice hair, this I had not. Everybody gets some other breeds by me, but not the Afghan hound. But then I always explain, if you look in the head of the Afghan hound to his character, to his stubbornness, then you will say for sure it is like Gerard.
Okay. Okay.
Now I have a breed at home. Now I have a breed at home. What people say, oh yeah, that is connecting to you.
And what drew you to start showing? And how long did it take you to start winning in Afghans?
The story starts in actually, I think it was 78, 79. I saw a big billboard in my city, dog show. And I was thinking, oh, I go to the dog show. It was only in that time 5 guildens or something like that. I go to the dog show and I will let me see my dog. I have an Afghan hound and I want to let's see them. So I go there and I came there and the guys didn't want to let me in.
No, you're kidding.
And I said, listen, I pay this €5 and I want to let's see my dog. No, your dog is not a pedigree dog.
No.
Pedigree dog, what is the pedigree dog? Who cares about a pedigree? I want to let's see my dog. It's a nice dog. For me, it was the most beautiful dog, of course.
Of course.
But I didn't came in. And then I was so angry at that, you people with your shows, I don't come anymore. And that was going a lot of years over, a lot of years. And at about 83, 84, I got another Afghan. And it was, of course, with pedigree. And then I want to start to show the dog. And I was showing the dogs, and I got an excellent. But it was all. And for me, of course, it was at that time already beautiful, because I was explained what it means, excellent and very good. Then after a time, the breeder came from the Netherlands, and she said, you should have an other dog also for the show. I said, yeah, I'd like to have a dog. She saw already that I had more interest and also the power to want to do more. And then she said, okay, I will breed and you can have one for me, the other one. And then at a certain moment, she came and called me that she was with also with the famous breeder from the Netherlands. She was in Germany. And there she saw a beautiful dog, puppy, Nausica's Laran. And if I wanted to have that one instead of from her. And I should really think about it, as they said. And so there were 2 breeders from the Netherlands who said I should not buy by them, I should buy there. And I did it. And I have so many success with this first dog, or not the first dog, but with this Nausica's Laran. It was my really, the best not breeding dog what I ever had. I did win a lot with him. I did win on different places, and it was. I still think these 2 breeders that they came to me and said you should take this dog, and I was of course happy with the breeder from Germany that she gave me. It was the beginning of also winning, because 2 years, 3 years ago, later than after the puppy was run, the first time I was thinking something was winning in the puppy classes, best puppy from the Afghans or something like that, and that was already for me. Wow, I did win.
And when you started off, were there people that were a big influence on you?
Yes, I had a little bit the luck that I know a lot of people from the beginning from the Afghan hounds in the Netherlands and in Germany. And I must say that was mostly women's. It was from the Nausicaa's kennel, from the Katwiga kennel, El Karaman kennel, but also I know very much the Eta Bopti from the VDOM, from the Oranje Manege kennel. And it was maybe one of the most famous kennels what we had in the Netherlands if it goes about the Afghan hounds, because a lot of breeders in Germany, in Netherlands, and everywhere is based on her stock.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And see, I had a luck that I could talk a lot with her about the breeds and how they came and how they're selecting and these kind of things, but also the other breeders had a lot. In that time, I was more interested about the answers from the breeders because I was interested in the dog so much that I want to know everything about the breeds. And I had also the luck that I could find out all the pedigrees till the end and to the beginning of Sardin and all these things. And that's different kind of photos from the past. So yeah, there was a lot of people. I can't say the names all, but some people will not know them anymore, or because this is going. You are very quick in the past if you are not so well known. Because if I now ask some people who is Eta Bopti and for VDOM kennel, then already a lot of people will say, "Who was it?"
Yeah.
And this is actually for me a pity because more from this well-known breeders, and sometimes not well-known, but excellent breeders, we should know more because we can learn from them.
And that brings me to my next question. You talk about pedigrees and learning pedigrees inside out. When you're breeding Afghans, do you research pedigrees a lot, or do you use your eye and say, well, that bitch will go with that dog? I mean, how important is it to read pedigrees?
I did look. Because the people who did learn me, the breeders from the past, didn't look so much to the pedigree. They didn't care about the pedigree, actually. They looked to the breeds, and if they know a little bit from the parents, where they come from, then they say, this is the breed. But of course, I later on, I said, this is what I want, this female and this male, because of this reason, because I want to know, and I want to see why I want to have this male on this female. I think this is the most important. And then afterwards, I did look in the pedigrees and look from, okay, what is the lines? Because some things you are not allowed to do anymore, and you must following the rules. So what is allowed and what is possible and what is not possible. I was, and I'm still actually, I'm in favor of the real mountain Afghan hound. The mountain Afghan, what I love is so, this is for me still the most beautiful dog what I ever had and what I ever will get.
Now, explain that to people. What exactly is the mountain Afghan?
The Afghan hound is you said you have the picture for you an Afghan hound, and somebody said once to me, if you put the Afghan hound behind a curtain and you see only the silhouette, then you must directly say this is an Afghan hound without any discussion. And the Afghan hound is a proud animal, and what sometimes I am a little bit pitied that they're not thinking about, but the Afghan is a hunting dog.
Mm-hmm.
So he's hunting. That means he's not afraid to go through bushes and do this like things. And only the difference is that an Afghan hound is hunting on the eye. So everything what he sees is for him important, and not the smelling. And you have not under control. You have the Afghan hound not under control if he's going hunting. The same at home. I love the Afghans at home. So relaxing, so quiet, so still, lying down, coming to you. Don't any noise. If they come outside and they come from off the leash, Then they see 2 kilometers further up, they see something going on, and they are gone. And then you can shout what you want, but they will not stay still. They will go, and you cannot stop them. And I like the way how the movement. I think also this. I'm crazy about movement by dogs. The Afghan Hound is an excellent mover. Is such a lovely mover that's not this springy and lightly going, but so strong from the back end. And this is I love. And then his oriental face. And sometimes I must explain with the dogs there what I mean. That also this is looking through is somebody. That you have Afghan hounds. They look, and then some people say, can be judges, can be other people. I don't know. I don't care. They say, look what this Afghan hound has, a beautiful expression. And then I looked to the Afghan hound and I said, this Afghan hound is a sleepy expression. There's nothing. He's sleepy. I look like that he is tired or whatever. No, look the expression. No, this is not expression. I want to see the Afghan hound with a fire in the eyes. Must be an expression that he can say what you want. I don't need you. Go away.
Yes, they have. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they have a certain arrogance about them.
Yes. There is also that what I said sometimes in expression with people with salukis. They bring the salukis around in the ring, and I said, "Do you want to show your dog like an Afghan instead of a saluki?" What do you mean? I said the Afghan has the head high, really high from who you are. I am here, and the saluki has more to the front. No, they can be really arrogant, stubborn, and they do only if they want to please you, they do something. Otherwise, they will. I was handling them already more times, and I love to handle the Afghan hounds. I really did love to handle the Afghan hound, but on one moment, if they said I stop, then you must be coming from good home to get them again showing, really? Because they didn't want to go at all anymore.
Well, and for people who may not know sighthounds terribly well, there is a particular way to approach a sighthound, is there not? I mean, you never approach a sighthound face on. If I were judging sighthounds, I would always approach them slightly from the side.
Yes. Because it never, not from up and not from directly in the front.
Yes.
Because this they will not, and they are almost all the sighthounds are a little bit reserved, and this reserving I like. But if you come from the side and they can also be reserved, but you can touch them without problems, except as by the Azawak. But the Afghan hound also, it can be very reserved, and if you go too much from the front or from upstairs, in the past there was even a risk that if they see it and then come too quick, that they say from, hey, what you want. And in the past was also the Afghan hounds, like the Borzoi, like the other Oriental dogs, they were not always so nice, if I can say it like this. If you did this, if you come to them on the wrong way.
Yeah.
I have never problems, thank God, with them.
What has been your biggest achievement as an exhibitor with Afghans?
The Netherlands people, now it is coming a little bit more, but we are not so keen, and I say this, but in that time as an antler, we were not so keen to travel a lot. The neighbors, the Germany, the Belgium, Austria, Swiss, Denmark, this was okay. But further, that we want. So in these countries, I did win very nice results. And in Germany, I did love Germany, showing in Germany, because Germany, the sighthound shows were always outside, always. And this I did love very much. and I think the winning, and that's the only pokal what I have still at home. The winning from the winner Amsterdam was for me so powerful, and also the group I did win, that I will never forget this win, because in your own country something winning like this, the big show, for some people it is quite normal. They come almost every year back to win, but in that time it was for me something where I could live lifelong from. And I still, if somebody asking me, yes, this is, and I'm very honest, this is the only pokal what I did keep from all the shows what I did shows. But I did
I think winning. I think winning a big win in your own country is sometimes better than major wins in other countries, particularly at national shows, or as you say, the Amsterdam Winners, which is a big show.
Yes. And I did also win with Afghans. I did also win best in shows in Germany, in Belgium. I did also win best show. Excellent, love it. But I remember me always this one time, and in the Netherlands in that time was a huge concurrence, because now the Afghan hounds, if you are going to a normal captive show, we have 14, 15 dogs. And in that time we had 200 to 250 dogs.
Yes.
Afghans, only Afghans. So more judges also.
A lot of people don't realize that during the 80s, 90s, that numbers were so much higher.
Oh yes.
It was so much more difficult to win within your breeds. And that goes for most breeds.
Yes. And especially the Afghan hound was in that time also a fashion dog. That's because if Afghan hound is good in coat and nice groomed, it looks beautiful, huge, really beautiful. But somebody must do the work.
Yes.
Somebody must groom it. Somebody must, even if you not go to show, somebody must groom the dog.
And of course, Chris and Moon won.
I hated by the Afghan hounds dogs. I always said that I hate shaving dogs. This is for me. Then take another breed, but not take a breed with long coated if you want to shave them, even if they go in pension. But some people say.
And of course, Chris Amu won Best in Show at Crufts with an Afghan during the 80s, which must have made them, or it was 80s or 90s, I can't remember, but that must have made them even more popular.
Yeah. It was making, but because I was not on the show, but I saw him winning. And I know Chris also more. And now in that time, winning even in England, in England was Afghans, of course, the most in population, but in that time it was the highest population in the world on that moment, I think. Especially I don't know if from America or whatever, but in any way in Europe it was the highest population. It was sometimes even in the top 10 of the breeds.
And do you still have Afghans?
No. I have since.
You have a smooth breed, I bet.
Yes, I will tell you so which breed. No, I have not Afghans anymore. I did also a lot of works in boards and like this kind of things. And I did like to groom the dog. But my work was, in my daily work, was on the government. I had from early morning to the evening. And then in the evening, I had some meetings also in the Kennel Club and this kind of things. And then it was not anymore clever to have.
I don't think people realize how difficult it is, because it is ridiculous when your work interferes with your hobby, but it does.
A lot of people don't realize, because what I did, I was 14 years president of the Dutch Kennel Club, but what I did in that time, I was working all days and evenings, and I was only 4 hours in the night I did sleep. And the rest I was busy with my work, and my work was not easy. And with the Kennel Club, and I did also start to judge, and then I go around the world, and so sometimes in the deep, if I go Fridays to judging somewhere, then I did on Thursday evening. I was working so long till I go in the morning driving to the airport to go away. So, and then have to have the Afghan hounds. Even if you have one, if you want to groom him nicely, especially in the age from 1 till 4 years old, if you want to groom him nicely, then you need it to do every week.
Yes.
And after 4 years, you can do it 1 to 2 weeks or 1 in 3 weeks, because the code is then changed, and then it is going much easier. But the most difficult time, and probably a lot of people know this, is between the 15 months and the 24 months. This is the most
difficult. This is true of American Cockers too.
Yeah. Correct.
And when did you first start judging?
In 1996, I passed my exams, and this was I was very happy with, because in the Netherlands it was not so easy to pass your exams, and it was for my first breed, so I did pass. And in 1997, I judged my first time, and what was not allowed, but they make a mistake by my Kennel Club. I did my first time in Germany in a CC show, and I was very happy with this, because there were on that time more dogs in the CC shows as here in the Netherlands on the Katzip shows. And they make a mistake, and I said, yeah, you make the mistake, not me. So I want to go. And then he said, yeah, but you cannot do it. I said, let me make the appointment with you. I go to this show, and I judge there. And afterwards, I will not judge anymore abroad till you say I'm allowed to go. And he did agree. So it was fine. And I was very happy with this. And in the same years, later on the year, I did judge then for the first time also Afghan hounds in the Netherlands.
And when you started judging, what was the best piece of advice you were given?
Keep yourself, stay by yourself. Don't and concentrate you in the ring. Concentrate you in the ring, and not concentrate on what is outside the ring is going on. And go for, I can say for, but this is, I think, for everybody the same. Go for type and for movement and blah blah blah. But especially in your own character, don't look who is behind the leash, and don't start with this. And I really did from the beginning on. I didn't start with this, and I must say, this was costing me some Afghan hound friends. There was some costing me some Afghan hound friends, because they thought they will win. And I never say in public outside of the ring, you have a beautiful dog, you should come to me because this is such a beautiful dog. Never. I always keep from distance. There was once I made the mistake, and it was in England on the crafts. There was a lady came to me and she said, "Sir, can you look to my account what you think about it?" I said, "Yeah, I can look, but I will not tell you anything because I am judged and I don't want to do it." And then she said, no problem, you can do it. And I go with her, and it was not the most beautiful Afghan hound. And then I was thinking how I should say this, how I should say that it is not the most beautiful. And then I think, yeah. I said, do you really want that I say what I think?
Okay, you're frozen on me there now, Gerard.
She looked to me, you have no knowledge at all. And she did moved away, and I never saw her again. But at that moment I was thinking, yeah, you did ask me, so it is not my mistake that you asked me.
Yes.
But this is not my style. I don't like it so much. And if I like the dog or not like the dog, mostly say, if you really want, then come to and let's judge them, but not so. Of course, I have friends. I have breeder friends where I go to look to the puppies and say what I think about the puppies. So this is I think by everybody it is also.
Oh, that's fine. Yes, I think everybody does that.
Yeah.
And do you think it's important for aspiring judges to ask questions of breeders, of established exhibitors, and sort of experienced judges before they start judging?
This we do not enough. This we don't really not enough. We should do much more. You know, I was working by the government, and I was in the education world, and developing new teaching material. So I come in a world where it is always changing in the direction of the future. I did give already more seminars in different countries about that we should talk also as judges with each other, that we take a mirror for us. And I remember me that I did give in the past some seminars with the dogs there. So judges and breeders. Also in the Netherlands, that was the first time, and we are afraid. And judges and breeders came with dogs. And then I give them the possibility to judge together in small groups together, one dog. So, for example, 2 breeders and 2 judges, just this dog together. And some were afraid. Some were afraid for this, and they little bit distance. But on the end of the day that we did it, everybody was so happy what we did, because it was a possibility to talk with each other about a breed, to talk about some small things, some details from the dogs, and also about the soundness from the dogs and everything. So I think we should do much more. I love to sit on the ringside. If I have not just that I go on a ringside and I sit there with a judge or with a breeder who have a lot of experience, and that we can talk there in peace from how you think about this and how you think about it, and that is possible with respect for each other. And still I have, look, you said American Cocker. If I want to do something with an American Cocker and I have not 100% knowledge, what is then better to sit on the ringside together with a breeder and said what you think about it? But what I
couldn't agree with you more.
But what I said, it's the respect must be there. You must have respect. That's why I always say also listen, very good. I'm a judge, but I make mistakes, a lot of mistakes.
We all do.
Like everybody is doing. And these mistakes, on that moment, you cannot accept it. You are not happy with this, but you did it. Even sometimes, if I go out of the ring and I realize, oh, I did a mistake. I did there, I did a mistake. My God, what a stupid idiot I am. But if you do this, if you can realize that you make a mistake by yourself, and you have this mirror and you do it, then I think you learn also from it.
And I think you and I and judges like us that judge abroad a lot are lucky that we can sit at a group by the side of a group with our fellow judges and say, well, what do you think about that dog over there, or you know, what do you think about the bull mastiff? And we discuss all the time. I mean, I'm all breeds, but you still are learning all the time.
Oh, yes.
and learning and discussing with other judges.
And I ask also sometimes, because you know, sometimes you do also a group or in the main ring, or even the best in show I do. And then if I come out, I always go to a judge who I respect them. What you think about it? And if he's not there, if not a judge is there, then I go to my wife, because he's also judge. He's judging even more. Then I said to her, from what you're thinking about it. And this discussion can be more interesting, of course. If she say, I don't like it at all, what you did, then we have a fight, of course. And with the other judge, we have not a fight.
Rita and I rarely agree. That's life. We keep learning. And how many countries have you judged in so far?
I think around 50.
50.
Yeah, it is for a judge who is not even have the half of the groups. I think it is a lot.
Yes.
I had this luck, you know. If you once if this is with our rounder also, if you are once in between, they invite you again. And
yes.
I have a luck, of course, that I'll be honest, I'm also in some places where they know me in another way.
Mm-hmm.
So this luck I have also, but I always said from the first time they can invite me because they know me from somewhere. But if they invite me the second time, then they invite me because they like my judging.
Yes.
And I think this is one of the points what we should have always. People, organizers, and also exhibitors, they see if you enjoy your judging, and they accept the way of your attitude and in the ring, how you talk with the people. Look, if I'm in the ring, I'm very serious, but I make also jokes in between time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I must be careful because some jokes in the Irish and the Netherlands are a little bit similar to each other. But if you go with your jokes from Ireland, or I go with my jokes from the Netherlands to some other countries, they will look at you and they will say, "Is this guy crazy or what is?"
You're right.
So
yes. You do have to be careful.
Little bit careful.
And aside from Afghans, which I'm assuming is your favorite breed to judge in the world, are there other breeds that you love to judge, or do you?
Oh, I like more breeds to judge. In the sidearm group, this actually not one who I don't like, because I really love. I'm always so happy if I'm invited for the sighthounds. You cannot imagine, because I love to judge the sighthounds. And then the other group, what I judge, and I have a lot of working dogs, working breeds. And if I look now to the other breeds in group 5 as example, what I always mention if I go somewhere, look, everybody have it about the dogs who is the most in picture.
Mm-hmm.
The Siberian Husky, the Alaska Malamute, the American Akita, and the Pomeranian. This is the most well-known dogs almost coming out of this group. But if you want to see an excellent, in my opinion, excellent movement, then go to the Shikoko. Because if a beautiful Shikoko, he can move. I did just once group 5 in the Netherlands, and that was one of the first time that the Shikoko was in the Netherlands. And he came there and he was in the ring, and I was really so enthusiastic about how they go around and how they did move. I did love it. I really did love it. And so I get also it's and I make always a joke about the group 1. A lot of people don't like to judge the German Shepherd. And I always said I like really to judge the German Shepherds, because maybe also because of my history, but I like it. And why I like it also, because I can give their easy, excellent, very good, sufficient, without any problems. And I do this. I give a lot of sufficiency. I give a lot of goods, and the people accept it and they respected what I do. And I think if we do this on this way, then you can also judge easy the German Shepherd. Don't be afraid to give sufficient or good.
No, you're quite right.
Or even disqualification.
Yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right. And is there a fault that really irritates you?
If the soundness is not there. Soundness is if we have, if the dog should be not, if it is an Afghan, it should be an Afghan. If it is an American Cocker, it should be an American Cocker. If it is a French Bulldog, it should be a French Bulldog, and not something else. And this is for me important. And for me, this is probably has to do with my origin. Movement is so important, because in the movement you see almost everything. I never start with judging a dog without see first around movement. And if something is wrong in the movement, then I'm quite nervous, because sometimes you have a dog and you judge them and you think, oh, this is a nice, beautiful dog, and then the movement starts, and I think, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And I had once a discussion in the Netherlands about the Sheltie, and there was I didn't even judge them on that moment, and then they said from the Sheltie is an head. What you want to say with this? That he cannot move? No, the movement is not so important, but the head is important. I said, this I don't know. I said, but what is the origin work from the dog? And then they looked to me and I said, come on. If the origin work has to do with movement, how you can say then that movement is not important?
Absolutely.
Actually, later on, years later, I hear the same persons again, and they did change their opinion. They said everything is important, is written more than the standard about the head, but if the dog cannot move, forget it. And I think this is for me important, that the dog should move. And what I hate, if some people bring the dog in and they know and they can see that it is limping. This I don't understand from people that they do it and etc. And then I'm very clear about it. And then I always say listen, your dog is limping. And you can put it now back, or I will say something not nice to you. And then mostly you are clever enough to take it back. But it's a pity that they become a very bad report because of that.
And coming from Holland, you're well used to critiquing, which we're not so much here in this country. Do you find critiquing very important? Do you think more countries should be using it?
Yes. Yes, if. This is typical German, of the typical Dutch, no? We are positive about them, but. Yes, but. I love to make a critic from a dog. In the time that I was starting to judge, that was not so long ago then, in 1997, it was allowed to have 40 till 45 dogs on the day. And you must make the critic.
Okay.
It was not allowed to have more. Because it was also important for the breeding in that time. And this is changed. Now it is a show. Now you have critics, but it is in another way. You must now make the critic not for the breeding, but for the show. This is for me the dangerous side of critics. I love to make the critics in that way what I had that time. Now, by yourself also, sometimes you come somewhere and you must make critics in 2 minutes. Come on. Even with a lot of experience. How you want to organize if you have 60, 70, 80, 90, 20, 100 dogs? How you want to organize in 2 minutes the critics so worthful that it has some use for the breeders.
Yeah.
This is what I want to make critics who is used for the breeders. Now my critics is also, you make them shorter and you try to put in what is good and what is bad. So that they can see why you give the excellent and why you give the say very good or the good. And it is not always easy. And I have always my same way of judging. Starting with the type, starting with the top line, with the head, and so I go the whole dog. And if you want to do every dog in the same way, then you will not manage this in 2 minutes.
No, you won't.
Even not in 3 minutes.
No, you won't.
So we do quick. And so if, yes, but then we should do it in another way. But then we come in a problem by the organizers, especially by the big shows. It is already so expensive. Organizers, mostly now, in any way in our countries, they organize it is in a passion, but they earn not a lot of money from these shows anymore. because the holes are so expensive. It is almost anymore to pay. So I can understand that they say but we need more dogs, otherwise we cannot exist. And then I said, okay. And sometimes I have the feeling, and I mentioned already, okay, maybe we should on the big shows, on the European shows, on the World Dog shows, this kind of shows, and maybe even on the Katzip shows. Forgive me if I say it. Maybe we should not dare doing anymore the critics, because a lot of people comes on international show, the World Dog Show and the European Dog Show, even on the Crufts, and they come and in Katzip, they come not anymore about the qualification in the report. They come to win.
Yes.
A lot of people comes to win, and they choose the judges not because of the knowledge sometimes from the judge and the useful report from the judge, but this judge I can win, or this judge I cannot win. And this is a selective point where I make concern. And then I said and then we have the breed clubs. And I said always and the breed clubs, you should push more up, and give them the possibility to have lesser dogs to judge, but with more time to have excellent critics by the dogs. And this is, I think,
that's a fair point, actually.
I think this is then you have two results. You make the breed clubs a little bit more important, and give even the qualifications. In this way, more important for the national titles, as example, as in the other way. Because we will not change. We will not change anymore, because we can always, if we judge somewhere and we have small reports, even if it is good written, why it is excellent and why it is very good or good. But who is responsible if who get the responsibility if the reports are small? The exhibitor will say, look, this judge, small reports, not even 2 minutes, not even 3 minutes, and he was ready. And the judge is following the organization. And this makes me sometimes very concerned, because on that moment, they don't complain about the organization, they complain about the judge.
And it's also, and people may not realize, it's also very tiring. I mean, when you're judging 85 or 90 dogs a day with critiques, by dog 80, you're tired.
Yes, this is also, and you try to make difference in the critics. But if you want to do quick, you must follow your route all the time. Just follow the same route. And I'm so crazy. If I start the first 3-4 dogs with what I do, then I want to finish the last one with the same.
Yes.
I don't change in the middle and say, okay, I go not quick enough, I must do quicker, so I forget this. No, I do not do it. And then it makes you tired, because also to find the correct words, and if you are English speaking, especially in English, where I must dictate in English in other countries, if you are English speaking, you find the words much easier as me, of course. And to find then always the difference in the report and the critics, this is not easy, because you want to see in the critics on the end, if they lie on the table, that you can say, okay, this is for sure his winner, this is not his winner. And it makes tired. I like some countries, they write already down from, are you willing to judge till 80 or 90 or 100? And I'm always a little bit smiling, and I said, listen, I come from the FCI, I sit in the FCI, and I am FCI judge, so I should follow the advice from my FCI. Not more. But this I not always saying. That's it's a little bit more the joke, but yes,
I think you make your point regarding the bigger shows is valid, because I know, for example, Rotterdam, the venue that they have costs them a small fortune. And I mean, we're lucky here that we have our own venue You know, we can hold our shows, and yes, it costs us money, but nothing like the sort of money that Rotterdam or Maastricht are paying, and
Amsterdam
increase their numbers must only be to the good.
Yes, this is almost. Look, Amsterdam. Okay, a lot of people said Amsterdam did go out of the RAI because of the problems in Amsterdam. No, that it was not true. But they wanted to go also to another showground because it was not to pay anymore. Because the RAI is the most expensive one in the Netherlands. It is not to pay. It is we cannot afford this, and this is a pity for our Brits because we must find other solutions. And I was always in favor of outside shows. I'm still in favor of outside shows, and this is possible. And even in a rainy country like Sweden, if you see it, the people have tents and they are enjoying and blah blah blah. It is possible, but yeah, I think also the Netherlands, because I know from one show who wants to organize next year also outside. Actually, with the same reason as what I said now, money, to keep in any way, the show up.
And CQs, whatever we want to call them. Do you like that system?
You know what happens to me? You can guess, no, what happens to me.
Keep giving out CKs.
I was in. I get a message if I can. There was a judge who did judge Basenji hounds in Sweden, but it was much too much. So they asked me if I can come 1 week before, and I said, okay, I can come. No, I go there. I will not tell about my traveling because it was a terrible traveling, but I came there, and then I started, but I didn't know anything. I know the system from the FCI, but I didn't know the CK system. So my first class came in, and it was a huge classes, came in, and then my ring steward on the end, sir, do you want to CK? And I was looking, I said, what means this? Yeah, every dog who can win and CC by you. Yeah, in the Netherlands, we have the system, if you give an excellent, they can win a CC. I said, okay, all excellence. Are you sure? I said, yeah, all. Okay. And then we go on. On the end of the males, I got them all back in the ring. I said, what is this now? Yeah, you put them all CKs. I said, what's this meaning this then? They compete again for the best male. I said, yeah, but it was not my meaning. Not. And then I did manage it, but it was not easy for me. Believe me.
Yeah, I think we've all done that the first time.
Oh my goodness! And then I said by myself, okay, what is now the profit? Is there some profit? And then some tell me but then it is because a lot of judges give an excellent, and then you can still do in the CK way. And I said, yeah, but this is the judge who decided. If the judge decided to give a very good, then he must give very good. And this is not changing anything. No, but it gives the people more chance. And then I realized later on, much later, wait a minute, if I give more CKs, and in the end I get from all the classes 6 or 7 or 8 back. And I make one, and then you must place them 1, 2, 3, 4. And then sometimes my 4th place become a champion.
Yeah.
And then I did understand. I think this is not what I like. This is not what I like. Then really I like my system more. You give the first
excellent
place, excellent 1 and excellent 2 coming back for the CC, and that is. But you must be consequent in your giving from very good and excellent.
Yes, absolutely. And how do you deal with irate exhibitors? We've all had them.
One of the times that I was judging in Germany, the Afghan hound, that was also some called friends, in the Afghans. This lady came in the ring, and she got an excellent, but not more. She was not placed. And in Germany, they must pick up the critic out of the ring. So I was sitting there, and she got the ring, and she didn't even read it. And what you think about it? Here you have the critic back. And I was a very young judge. I think, what is this now? What is this now? How must I react? Must I be angry now or not? And I think, I will be not angry. I will be not angry. So I take the report, and the steward wants to take the report. I said, no, I will keep it. And believe me or not, about 3-4 years later, I give the lady the critique back. And she was giving me her excuse for that time. And I said, maybe you can do it now in some nice place where you can keep it, because the critic was not so bad, only not good enough for placement. So, and I'm also, I cannot accept if people in the ring are not sportive. I did already once in the Netherlands also. I did send one out. I did really send one out. And I know by myself it was actually not possible by the rules. But I think I don't care, because I want to see that this is not acceptable. So I sent the guy out with the dog, and I said, I don't want to have you anymore in the ring. I will not judge you anymore in the ring. Go out. This attitude to the exhibitors, because he started to the exhibitors, and to my ring steward is not acceptable. Go out. And he did go out, and of course there came a complaint by the secretary, and the secretary came to me and said, what you think about it? I explained what it is, and they said, oh, let it go. Thank God he didn't make an official complaint, but it was not. Or I put it also in the report. If I think this is not a sportive person, I put it in the report from not sportive against the people. And no, this is for me not acceptable. And I in the Netherlands, one of the most, I will now say not the name, one of the most famous persons who had always to complain something in the ring. This lady did go out, and she was shouting and blah blah blah, Jesus and I don't know. And I said, lady, can you come back? And she came back to me. I said, this is the first time that I judge you, your dog. The first time you judge your dog. The second time, if I hear again something in my ring, if you are there, you can stay out, because I don't want you in the ring anymore. I will send you out with disqualification. Yeah, but it was not meaning for you, and so I don't care. You can go out now. It is done, but never do it again. And I did judge her in Maastricht for 3 weeks ago, and she was very nice again. So I did just starting in 1997 till now. She's in any way in my ring quiet. I'm not afraid to say something. I was once in Italy. They can also sometimes, and some guy on the ring, I explain what I will know later, his wife, about the breed, about the dog, something positive even. And the guy on the ring side starts to shout, and you are crazy, and what you think about it. And I was looking to him, I said, listen, I see your number now. Do you want that I make an official complaint? Because I know I make an official complaint if you not shut up. And then his wife said, you should shut up now. In Italian, no? And then he was quiet, and then later on he came back to the excuses, and he said, I did understand that you said something wrong. I said, even if I said something else, never do this.
Absolutely. And do you think judges have a role in the development of breeds, in if they see a fault creeping, a recurring fault within a breed, do you think judges have a role in saying, look, you've got a problem here, you need to address this?
Yes, also there again, but
you talked about shelties earlier and movement and etc.
Yeah, but this something, yes, it depends how you have the time and now you have the possibility to explain sometimes what you do. I love it if somebody is coming to me and can you explain, and I explain, and they said, okay, I understand what you are meaning. And I had once a whippet breeder from abroad, and I was judging some whippets from him, and I was saying from what I miss on these dogs. And he said, and can I come later to you to talk with you about it? I said, yes, you can come. He came later and he was talking with me, and I explained what I saw on the whippet, and it was especially in the top line and some other points, and I explained him what was wrong, in my opinion. And I was said, he did something with it. He go and changed the breed, and later on he was winning a lot with the breeds. So yes, in some cases, yes, for sure we have the influence, but depends what kind of influence you have. If it's the influence what I just said, that you can talk with them and without a piece of knowledge and respect to each other, from I think you should be careful with this, or you should be careful with that. What I do also in the ring, yes. Again, if they come only for winning, they don't care what you say.
Yes.
Let's be honest, because I was once judging somewhere abroad, and I did the Afghan hounds there, and huge interest I had Afghans. And there were Afghans and what I don't like in the Afghans is shaving the Afghan hounds.
Yes.
Here, shaving in the neck, and shaving the back, and shaving the tail, and everything is shaved. Even in our standard is not allowed. And then I said, but later to the breeders, but why you are doing this? I said, if you know me where I come from, then you know that I will never accept this. It is not correct. And then he said, yeah, but we have no time to let it grow. I said, what, you had no time to grow? Yeah, because the judges from another country next to them, they like it.
Yeah.
I said, they like it. Yeah, they like it very much, and they are beautiful. I said, but if you look, because this breeder had also breeds from Europe, if Afghans from Europe, he said, if you look to this, then you should know that it is not the way we'd like. And yeah, but if we want to win, we must do something. And this is then the wrong influence what a judge can do.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And the breeder should be stubborn, actually. The breeder should be stubborn and say, we will not do it.
Yes. Actually, you're right. Yes. That is the attitude they should be taking.
Yeah.
Moving on to a slightly more serious matter, and I am conscious of your position within FCI, etc. Your view on how kennel clubs across the world are dealing with this issue regarding brachycephalic breeds and health issues, etc. Are we dealing with them properly?
You know what breed I have at home now, no?
I can probably, don't tell me you've got a French bulldog.
Yes.
Yeah, thought you might.
Yes. And I love my French bulldog. And I don't want to change my French bulldog, because I love it as it is. And if you go to the website not to the website, to my Facebook site, there's always also something written upstairs. The breeder and the judge should breed and judge the dog by the standard and nothing else. And this we should keep so. And of course is health important, without doubt.
Absolutely.
Very important. But if I have here dogs, like our Victor, who is now here, the name Victor is coming from Victor van Raamstok, one of the most famous breeders from the French Bulldog in the past. And every evening, still, and he is almost 11 years, still he runs 7-8 kilometers free. So walking 7-8 kilometers and he going free. So that means more kilometers without any problem. And he comes at home, he lie down, what I always also do, because I'm also very tired at that moment. And he lies down 5 minutes, and I want to go out again outside. He wants to go again. So why I want to change something if it is possible to get it better with the dogs what I have already in my population.
Yes.
So it is not only the brachycephalic, because I think the kennel clubs, but not only the kennel clubs, also the breeders, exhibitors, everybody should take more care about and more proactive in this kind of cases, more proactive in positive way to talk with each other. I'm not the fan so much about Facebook, because Facebook damaged a lot of people, but also damaged a lot of breeds.
Yes.
That's why we want to put all the Facebook is more and more a newspaper where they want to have bad news, negative news. And I can tell you, all these organizations who are against dogs, I said white, not only pedigrees, who are against dogs, these people find the information somewhere. And I'm sure about it, that they also find all this information on Facebook or on other social media.
But
this is
all of this started with the Panorama program, which was aired in Britain.
Yeah,
it's where this all started.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, and it's been a common thread through a lot of the talks that I've had over the last 20 weeks, that a lot of people think that there was a knee-jerk reaction by kennel clubs, particularly some kennel clubs saying, oh, well, okay, yes, we admit we have these problems and now we're going to try and address them, rather than saying, no, we are the protectors of these breeds. We don't have these problems. We have helped these breeds. We've protected them. It's puppy farmers you need to be going after. And that perhaps there wasn't a bigger reaction from the kennel clubs.
Colm, you are right. But don't, you are right, I will come back on this one. But what I want to say in between is don't mix all the kennel clubs with each other, because you have huge kennel clubs with a lot of people working in the kennel clubs. You have kennel clubs with only 2 or 3 people working. Our kennel clubs are totally different from each other.
Yes, lot of fair point. Yes,
but in some cases they are going too easy to I say maybe wrong, too easy to please some welfare organization or to please some government.
Yes.
And this is going then wrong. And I was always in the way of I want to have experts around me. And I think the doggy world should use now much more excellent experts. And everybody talks then about experts about fads or whatever. And I talk about excellent people in communication and in public relation and marketing, but especially communication and public relation, because this we need so much. And I like to pay much more for these people as for a vet who can say what it is good or what is bad. Because if a vet is there, then it is almost already too late.
Yes.
And the problem is, and I said that also in that time that I was in the kennel club by myself, and we did it once, and it was with success that we did it, and it was costing a lot. I am agree, and not everybody and not every kennel club can pay this, but we had success with this to hire some guy who had communication in his pocket, but communication with welfare organization, communication with politics, and this kind of things. So he knows exactly how you must handle. And this is the problem from the kennel clubs. A lot of people in the kennel club boards, like me, we are full of passion. We like to do this or we like to do that, full of passion. But we cannot have from everything enough knowledge.
Yes.
So we need, if they fight against us, we need to fight back. No, even we not need to fight back. We must always step in the front and not behind, because now a lot of times we are fighting in behind, and this is not good. Look, now they talk in some countries about the Brazilian Valley is already 1 point, but now they also talk in a lot of countries from low legs breeds.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a problem. So I come again in a problem because my next dog is already born, will be a miniature tackle. So this will be the next one in the breeds, or to small ones, or to big ones, whatever you find, because welfare organizations, they can live from people who give them money. And if the welfare organization can show awful things,
yes,
people give money. So how more awful things they can show, are more money. So we should, under help from some persons who have really knowledge about communication, we should much more acting in the front and showing in a positive way our dogs. And we have so much positives to say about our breeds.
yes,
So much that you cannot imagine. Of course you can, but I mean, we have so much to offer. If you look to the dogs, what we have, they are not for nothing called the man's best friends, of the people's best friend. It's not for nothing. So we should much more use this.
And once again, Gerard, I am going to use the example, and I'm sorry if I'm going to bore people with this, of the American Cocker Spaniel, who when I started in American Cocker Spaniels in the early 80s, they had a massive problem with cataracts. And you were lucky if you got a dog to 7-year-old without going down with cataracts. But because of breeders cleverly breeding and saying, this is a carrier, we're not using that. So now it is actually, in 2020, it is rare to get an American Cocker with cataracts. Now, that's a positive.
But this is so it should be called. But it is the other way also. I know then what I said before. I know the old breeders who starting in the beginning, and they had pets, but the pet was actually for horses and for cows and for cars, but not for small dogs.
Yes, we had them.
And what has happened then? If the breeder was breeding, and there was something not good with the dogs, with the puppies, or there was something not healthy with the dogs, they select.
Yeah.
And not so nice as now. This we know. And I'm not allowed, and I will not do what I do normally with my hands. But they select on their way. But they select on a correct way. In a correct way, in a meaning in favor of the health from the breed. Now, these days, even if you see in a litter these puppies are not good, they must keep in life. We must keep them in life, because you cannot do it. You cannot select them on the way as in the past. This is also done, but we should more careful what we're doing and what we let's see, and we should. If we have in the Netherlands yearly 200,000 dogs, and yearly is only 50,000 from the Kennel Club, and the rest is coming from somewhere, then we must fight against that.
Yes.
We have the French Bulldog. The French Bulldog had in a time ago, they had reports, healthy reports, and everything like this. But there was only 10-15% of the total population, because the other French Bulldogs had no pedigrees. They go to the vet. If they go to the vet write down, this is a French Bulldog, instead of this is a lookalike.
Yeah. But I'm going to put something to you now, because again, over the course of the interviews, it is a common comment that all breed judges have been making, and that is that the FCI, Kennel Club London, AKC, maybe not so much because I think it's slightly different in America, but certainly FCI and the Kennel Club London should form a lobby group to lobby the European Parliament, to lobby our governments. And okay, yes, that's going to cost money, but you know, if every kennel club got their members to give €1, how much money would the FCI have to fight this? A lot.
Yes, and I agree. We are so busy with us, but also there is the knowledge from us. We are fighting, and we will try. We are also this moment. We are really trying to find lobbyists from our different countries, lobbyists to go to there and do work for us. And I'm in favor of this because this is on the same way as what I said before. Somebody in the communication, somebody here. I'm in favor of this because these people can really do something for us. They can do something.
These activists have a lot of money.
And it is their job, and they can do it, and we cannot even have the time and the possibilities even for this, even if we have the full of passion. But they have the time to do it very good. And yes, you have right. You have right that in what I think also, that we can, especially on this way, we should work much more together. But don't forget one thing, Tom. The Kennel Club is one club. The FCI is almost 100 clubs.
Yes.
And this is sometimes the problem. I can remember you the situation about the cropped and docked ears and tail. A lot of countries in Europe, they were directly agree and everything was done, but also a lot of countries were not agree and they don't want it. And even if you say from but it's in the law, it's written, yeah, but then we will find another way. It is with this kind of things the same. I can remember me in the time from the Cavalier King Charles panel and the time that it started at that time. From also the country, the Netherlands was also the second, because if something happens in England, the Netherlands is always the second one. That's why we are good neighbors from each other. And then we did ask also in neighbor countries and other countries, also to the FCI at that time, please can you help us, because what we should do and how we should do. No results, no reactions. So the Kennel Clubs must do it on their own to find out how to do. And this we should try to do much more. And I'm very, very happy that we have now a committee for welfare and health with really experts coming from out the dog world, with experts in a high level who is also have respect by universities, and this they are working on this moment on really nice plans to do something more. But
is this within the FCI or the Dutch Kennel Club?
In the FCI.
The
FCI. And also in the Brachycephalic breeds, the scientific committee from the FCI, it is also published on the FCI site, but also sent to all the kennel clubs as information. Also a lot of information how to act in the cases of the Brachycephalis. But another thing, I give you 100% right. We need in Brussels some people who can work for us. And yes, this we should try to do together with everybody who is involved. And I don't care if it is the English Kennel Club, if it is American Kennel Club will not have lobbyists in but as the England, yes, because we have the same. They can come in the same situation as we, mostly even earlier as we. So yes, we should really try to do there something. But I can tell you that we are trying to do something on it. But you must find a
common ground.
First of all, we did ask the kennel clubs, all the kennel clubs in Europe, do you have somebody who is in Brussels, who is a lobbyist in Brussels? And so that if we can do from that side away, from the answers from the kennel clubs, already find out from, okay, maybe we have a few people who can do it for us.
Well, but thank you for being so honest.
In my opinion, it is already late.
Yes.
But I will never say it is too late.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever too late.
No.
Thank you. Just on speaking of the UK, do you think Brexit is going to have an effect on us?
Oh.
You're a neighbour of technically.
I think it will be not in the first 5 years, maybe. But afterwards, I think it will be more problem because you get the border again.
Yes.
And it will not. I really respect for a lot of people from England, but I have also sometimes the idea that he wants to stay in the situation where he was in the past.
Yes.
And I have the feeling that afterwards we get also back the really passport control, the animal control, and quarantine, and I don't know whatever can come back. But I hope not. I hope really not. But
okay.
This Brexit makes me really concerned, and I'm thinking a lot of times always on Ireland because I read a lot about it. And also Ireland is then you are really an island.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, we will lighten things now again. 4 dinner guests you must have at a dinner party.
On this moment, I like to have maybe with 200, 300 people. Because I don't see anybody. I see sometimes people about via the online situations, but it is very different. And I love some people of all over the world, and I like to enjoy with what I call also friends in the doggy world, to sit with them, and it can be a small show, a big show, whatever. I really enjoy with this. But I must also tell you, in this time where I am at home since March, where we're at home, it is also very nice that you see your family a lot of times now. Much more time as it is. My mother is in the 80 now, and now I see her almost every week. And in the past, I saw her every 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
And this is now more. So she is very happy with us, and she said, I hope not that you ever do again so much judging. No, but I was to think about this question about 4 people. Of course, I have also closer people, but if I go in our dog world, no, I really love to sit with different people, lovely people from all over the world. I don't care where they come from, because for me is everybody the same. And also the kind of judgments are also the same. Judging is for me a hobby. Yes. And it should be a hobby, because otherwise we not should do it. And this is a hobby. So I also want to enjoy a hobby. And if I sit in the evening together with my friends and I will drink a glass of wine, or we eating together and we have nicely fun, it is lovely to do. And I don't mean to have big parties, this not, but nicely sitting together and talking about different things, and sometimes about the dogs from the day, but sometimes about the culture from the different countries.
Yes.
I like to learn about other countries. What I said, that in almost around 50 countries where I was, I always try to find out something from the country, to learn from the country. And what is for me important, to learn the culture and the people. Because my Tatjana is coming from Slovenia, and is more from the east. And sometimes for the Western people, it's not easy to understand people from the east. But if you know each other better, and you know the culture, and you know why we're laughing about and where we're not laughing about, I think then you can enjoy.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. Quite right. So, okay, funniest or most embarrassing moment, showing or judging?
Okay, I was never taught judging one, and maybe also some other one. I was never thinking that it will happen to me. You hear, I was judging in Groningen. There was a show where I also would organize, I was judging there the piccolo.
Mm-hmm.
And there came a lady with a dog in, and the dog didn't want to go up and down. And I said to the lady, and I was really thinking from this will happen. And I said to the lady, you know what? Take him in your arm, go out of the ring, and then come back. And he came back, but still with the dog on the arm. And and that was not the meaning, of course. He should walk. And then I started to laugh, and she was looking. I should let the dog walk. I said, yeah, you should let the dog walk. And all the people on the side was always saying, and we make a nice, funny moment from this. And everybody was also accepting this funny moment. As an exhibitor, one of the shows I didn't win, also not anything, because of my stupidness. I was showing, I came in the ring and it was not so nice weather. And I go in the wrong direction. Of course, they just stopped me. Sir, you are in the wrong direction. And I had already experience. This was the day wrong, wrong day. And I go on the other side from the dog, and I want to go further. No, sir, you must go on the other side of the show, and you must have the dog on the inside. Oh, sorry. And I go away, and not even 10 meters, and I go falling down. Bam. And I think this was nothing. And then later on, the judge came to me. I'm so sorry. I said, you have a beautiful dog, but this will today no success with you. And it's not a problem with the dog. It's your problem. And this is one thing. Yeah. And some fun is not funny, but I even told the exhibitor later, I was judging in a youth show in Germany, the Bundesliga. And I did just the group there. And I saw one dog, and I was thinking, oh, it is, what a beautiful dog, what a beautiful dog. And I make that a mistake. I go along the dogs, and then on the end, I count the dogs who must stay in the ring. And there must be 6 in the ring. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I do so. And the rest is going out. And then I want to let them go around. And they go around, and I think, where is this dog? But on the moment that I said 6, I did not yet pass them.
No.
So I sent them out. And later on, much later, I did just a half year, not even a year later, I did just the same dog in the Netherlands. He was winning there by me. And then I think, now I can tell the story. And I told them honestly, this was a mistake for me. I'm sorry. This happens. And they were laughing about it. They're really laughing about it. And they say, this can happen, everything. But we love that you said it to us. Embarrassing also a little bit that I was invited to, a long time ago, to England. In that time, we must still have how many dogs you did judge, where you did judge, you know this. Mm-hmm. And there I should judge the Saluki. Okay, I sent all the papers because I was very proud to judge there. So I sent all the papers to them. And then I get the message later on back. You are not allowed to judge the Saluki in England because you must have 8 years experience and you have 7.5 year experience. So honestly, I was with 7.5. I didn't even not look. And then I write down back, I'm very sorry. I have no problem with this that you don't want me, but I can tell you I'm 18 years already the president of the Saluki Club. I judged the Saluki then 7.5 years, but I did already specialties everywhere in the world. But for you, I'm not good enough. And that makes me so long angry that first year was the first year that I judged again in England. Never again I was judging in England. Yeah. So this is.
And if you didn't live in Holland, is there a country you'd love to go to?
Listen, Colm, you live in Ireland. I live in the Netherlands. Do you love?
We get wet a lot.
Do you? Yeah, I want to say, do you love your country in the autumn time, in the winter time?
No.
This very bad raining weather.
Yes.
My wife is totally crazy about this now. So bad. So I think you have the same as I. We want to go to a nice warm country where we enjoy the nice weather.
No, like Mr. Forte.
Yeah, exactly. But to be honest, I'm in love in one country, and that is where my wife is coming from Slovenia. I really, really adore Slovenia. It is, you cannot imagine how beautiful this small country with 200 million, with 2 million people, how beautiful this country is. In
Really?
the nature, they have sea, they have mountains, they have woods, they have lakes. It is so something from beautiful. And
Wow.
if you know the people like I do also a little bit, then really, really I love them. And there is only one painting here in our living room from breed, and that is the Krasy Osar from Slovenia.
Okay.
So if I want to change now my place for being,
You're going to Slovenia.
But in Slovenia, they have still some nice weather on this moment. Not so cold as here, not so rainy as here, but still they have between 15 and 20 degrees. So also there it is already something better.
I hate to tell you, it's 16 degrees here.
Yes, today also here, 15. Yeah, today is, but still raining.
Yeah, oh, it's raining here too, yes. So, final question, Gerard. If you could write your epitaph, what would it be?
This is a question.
And don't say I told you I was sick.
No, rest in peace. No, I think that I hope that the people remember me as he was honest, kind, with love and passion for the breeds, and also straight and honestly telling what is, because I never go around the answer. If I not can answer it or I don't want to answer it, then I say I don't want to answer it. If I cannot answer it, I said I cannot answer it, but I will find the answer for you. And if I say I can also say yes or no, easy. But this I hope that the people remember me this, and that I did try to do my best for two things. It is our dogs and our hobby, because we talk about our dogs, but we love our hobby. If we have not our dogs, we have not our hobby. If we have not our hobby, then a lot of dogs will have lesson.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? I'm happy that I will let decide this what is coming on my and what the family wants to put on.
Well, thank you very much, Gerard. It's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you for your honesty. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Apologies for the slight delay. I wish you all the best. Stay safe. Our love to Tanya.
Thank you very much. And of course, in some questions later on, I was thinking, oh, I can tell much more. I have much more, but online you must also not too long. And
absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I did enjoy the way of interview, and I hope that in any way the people did learn me a little bit better, how I sometimes think and how I sometimes go and work in this world of our.
I think you've been very honest now, and thank you very much. And as I say, stay safe, and we will see you shortly somewhere in the world.
And to everybody, stay safe, and let us hope that we sit very soon together on this huge table and diner together. Breeders and judges and exhibitors, who cares? Everybody who loves our dogs and hobby.
Okay. So good night, everybody, and I'll see you next week.
Good night. Bye-bye.